and welcome to what these idiots think is another episode of the KFace podcast. It should be 158, but it's not episode 158. It's a brand new show that we're doing at KFace called Blindside. Gavin and Andrew, guess what? You just got blindsided. Eric?
Is this a fever dream? What?
Is this related to Chungle?
Congratulations. You thought we were going to be doing another episode of the KFace podcast, but we're not. We're going to be playing Blindside. It's a new show where I have you watch something and you don't have a fucking choice. You have to watch it with me. Today, we're going to be watching the 1986 episode, season 2, episode 16 from January 31st, 1986 of Mr. Belvedere. It is called Wesley's Friend. That's all I'm going to tell you.
Wait a second.
We can go ahead and get started.
Well, no. I have a few questions before, please. Was this what we were supposed to do last week?
Yes, it is. This has been moved 3 times.
So that's why.
You guys have been blindsiding me over and over and over again, and you have no idea.
Jeff's been mad about this for weeks.
Oh, that's why you've refused to put less than 2 calendar invites in every week since this.
Oh, that's so
I
funny.
have been so mad. I was so mad when Andrew was. We were right there about to do it, and Andrew said, "I don't feel like doing 2 today," which is fine. You were sick. I understood. And then Eric changed the fucking schedule from yesterday to today because he had family from out of town. A show where I blindside you idiots with something, and instead you blindsided me over and over to the point where I almost didn't want to fucking do it anymore. But I said it's today or nothing. We're gonna watch Mr. Belvedere together. All I'm telling you about this episode is that it's called Wesley's Friend. Have you ever seen Mr. Belvedere, Andrew?
No, but the name sounds very familiar for some reason.
Gavin?
No. I feel like I've heard the name, never seen a single frame of it.
Nick?
Not even a little bit, no.
Eric?
Yes.
Okay. It ran for 6 seasons. It was on ABC. It ran from like 1984 to 1990. So like those 6 seasons. And this is season 2. The premise of Mr. Belvedere is this guy, Mr. Belvedere, is a British gentleman who comes over to America. He used to work for, I think, Winston Churchill. He comes over to America and he becomes like a butler, like house helper for this American family of, the dad is Bob Euchre. He's like a sports commentator. The mom is cool. And then there's an older son who's in high school, a daughter who's in middle school, and a son, the youngest son, whose name is Wesley. He's like 9 or 10. And he's like a Dennis the Menace, like Bart Simpson type character, pre-Bart Simpson, obviously. Just like a little rapscallion kid who's always like he's always scheming. He's a schemer. He's always up to no good. He's always breaking the rules. And I was desperate to be him when I was a kid. He was like my hero.
Okay.
And here we go. I'm ready to start whenever you guys are.
You guys are going to have to let me know how the volume is because I haven't tested this in particular.
What are the rules when it comes to calling a blindside? Like, can we now all blindside each other?
You're all able to blindside.
Oh, okay. We all got one in the chamber.
Yeah. I mean, you can work with me and Nick if you need to, but if you need to do your own blindside without us, then you're welcome to do that as well.
That's great. Okay. I'm excited about this. Wesley's Friend.
How does it feel to be blindsided?
I'm glad that it happened this week and not last week. I don't think I would have processed what being blindsided meant at all. I would have thought I just missed something.
It was clear you weren't up to it, so we pushed it.
I'm excited about this. I feel like there's a possibility. I've seen Mr. Belvedere. We'll find out it's just a black screen currently. I'm very curious as to why we are watching episode 16 of season 2 specifically.
Well, you'll find out soon. I just think it's a pretty good one. Interesting subject matter. Okay. Gavin, I want you to pay special attention. Mr. Belvedere is British. He's a famous British person you may or may not have ever heard of. And this show has a phenomenal intro song. So when it comes up, pay special attention. It's a really good song.
I have one question.
Yeah.
Did they ever put this episode on vinyl?
I don't believe they did.
Okay.
I don't think so.
Interesting. All right.
Yeah. Okay. B, please let me know if the volume's okay. And here we go now.
Yeah.
It's the 80s, so everything is vaguely homophobic.
Yeah.
Do you guys know? There's Wesley. Do you guys know who Bob Uecker is?
No.
Yeah.
No.
Oh man.
I thought that was Belvedere.
The joke is he's a British butler, but he's 7.
Yeah, that's really excited about.
That's Mr. Belvedere.
Oh, okay.
Do you recognize Mr. Belvedere, Gavin? Is he famous in England?
I don't recognize him.
Bob Uecker is just as much of a national treasure as Don Zimmer was, and we should get into Uecker
I agree.
at some point.
Ah.
Yeah.
Is he padded up or does he just look like
Yeah, I was going to say, he seems very stiff.
I don't know.
He moves like an action figure.
Oh.
What? Wait, what?
Okay.
Wait, somebody has AIDS?
Kid just dropped an AIDS bomb.
Right into the intro?
What a crap.
That's the hook?
This is a sitcom and they just
What's happening?
Oh, no.
Jeff, why are you making us watch this?
It's Mr. Belvedere, man. He's the best.
Okay.
And I think it's important to see how we dealt with things like AIDS in the 80s.
Did Mr. Belvedere deal with AIDS? Is that... Do we need to credit him medically?
I wonder whatever happened to Bryce Beckham. I wonder if he had a career after this. He was so good as Wesley.
Bob Uecker's name looks like a typo.
Oh, definitely.
Have you ever seen the movie Major League, Gavin?
No.
Oh, that's my favorite movie.
So
Bob
why
Uecker's great in it.
That's one of mine too.
is this a super rich family?
I don't think so.
No,
So
this is just how things were in the 80s.
Yeah.
So he hitchhiked there and now he lives with them for some
Yeah.
reason?
My God.
This is a pretty successful Blindside, Jeff.
Yeah, I wanted to blindside you in a lot of ways.
I don't think anyone's more blindsided than Danny, though. That's it's a big blindside.
It's usually...
What's he doing with
What's
AIDS?
he doing?
He does?
Does he?
That's very specific. Also, you can't have chewing gum?
Oh, not in school.
Yeah, getting caught with chewing gum is bad, apparently.
Can you... For the rest of his life, he'll remember this moment in that outfit.
Yeah.
I can see, Jeff, why this was your hero.
Oh, he's my hero, man.
Oh my God.
It's a lot like shoplifting.
That's pretty close. Are we like 6 minutes into this?
Yeah, it's
It's a doozy.
it's brutal. It's real rough. After this episode, which I have watched twice to get ready for this, I just let it run and I watched like 20 other episodes. They're all way funnier than this one.
Oh,
That's
yeah?
not shocking.
Yeah.
Why? I guess is my main reason so far. Is this a thing where like
Why does he have AIDS?
no, like why did they decide to make this?
Well,
Like,
there
was there a
like,
wave of like sitcom episodes where characters get AIDS as like an educational tool? Like,
Yeah,
what was the reason?
this is how we handled complicated subjects in the 80s when there wasn't shit like the internet and you had to explain to people what they were.
Yeah, like that really bummer episode of Fresh Prince where it's all about like drink driving and stuff.
Yeah.
Exactly. Or like the 21 Jump Street about AIDS or the Quincy about AIDS.
It like very special episodes was just what we did with TV.
Yeah, it really was a big. I mean, it seems silly now, but it really was this was a very special episode of Mr. Belvedere, and that was code for we're dealing with something that's very culturally tumultuous and difficult.
Yeah.
Maybe Fauci will walk into the house.
Dude, he was still he was fucking working in his job back then.
Yeah,
At this
he
point.
works on AIDS.
Yeah.
Against AIDS.
They're just doing other stuff in this episode also, and that's
Yeah.
crazy.
Has Mr. Belvedere moved his arms yet?
British people don't move their arms, Gavin. You know that. They keep them sternly at their sides. Ew.
Ah. It is an interesting thing of like we're gonna cover AIDS, but also let's find room for fun. Let's
Yeah,
get
it's
some fun in
still
there,
a
guys.
sitcom, right? We still
I
gotta
mean,
be.
like, this is why there's a writer's strike, right? Like, to be able to do this and move between your A story and then your insane B and C stories is, I mean, not easy.
I was wondering if putting this on would, Jesus, would completely floor you guys and leave you tongue-tied, and I think it has. I'm kind of happy about
yeah.
that.
Absolutely.
I'm blindsided to the moon.
That was kind of what I was going for. Yeah. Uh-oh, Kev.
Always use his arm.
Wait, this is the
That's-
AIDS kid?
Yeah.
Oh God.
Jesus!
God.
God.
Oh.
It's honestly that moment that I wanted to watch this show.
Wow!
They gave this kid AIDS and a deviated septum. It's so unfair.
Oh, this is tragic.
Yeah,
This
it's
is,
really sad.
Oh my God.
Was Danny a regular character to this point?
I don't. That's a great question, and I don't know the answer.
I bet he wasn't.
Leslie doesn't want to touch it because, yeah. You didn't do anything wrong, Danny. It's just Wesley's prejudice. And it's just fear he doesn't understand.
But that was like such a big thing, right? Like,
Yeah,
remember,
it was-
was it like Princess Diana?
Yeah,
Like-
it was a big deal when she touched, when she came and like hugged and embraced people with AIDS.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It actually did a lot of good in the world when
Yeah.
at that moment.
But again, because at this point we needed very special episodes on how to handle this stuff.
I just think it's like this was mentioned on Reddit recently, and I went down a rabbit hole of reading about it, and then remembering how much I love Mr. Belvedere and watching all the funny episodes of Mr. Belvedere. The show's still great, but I just couldn't get over like I had forgotten about how this is how we used to deal with stuff as a society, and at least in America. And I thought it was just kind of like a fascinating look back, not that long ago.
Plus, Gavin's right. He has not moved his arms like at all. Like,
No, I opened the door.
He's so stiff.
but like it's so low. Like a door is so low. He's a big man. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
Maybe that's butlering 101 is lock up the arms. Oh.
I would love to talk
Oh my
to
God.
someone who this was their introduction to what AIDS is. Like, this
I mean,
was the conversation.
you might be. Part of why I wanted to watch this is because this is one of the first times I remember hearing about AIDS.
oh wow.
Yeah, I was 11 maybe when this came out, 10 or 11.
How new was AIDS when this came out?
Well, this was 80, probably what, 85?
86, I think. Yeah, January of
So-
86.
So this was like, I think it had been in the news for like a few years at this point, but like
Probably about 4 or 5 years.
yeah, and it became a culturally like really significant thing at this point.
This was definitely like right at the ramping up of the height of the irrational hysteria.
Yes.
So when you watch this or something like this, what was it? Were you aware that this was going to be a special, like one-off, very specific episode, or were you blindsided in the
Yes,
same way
no.
Gavin and I were?
No, they were promoted as like coming up on
Okay.
Thursday on a very special episode of Mr. Belvedere. Wesley's friend deals with a complicated medical mystery or like
It
something
would
like
be-
that, you know?
It would be that, and then they would cut in moments from the episode of like little pull quotes, and it was probably like dealing with something very difficult. And then it would be a hard cut of the kid going, I got AIDS, but other than that, I'm okay. And it would be like, oh, what the fuck? That's just, shit was TV, insane in the 80s. Crazy.
I mean, I just watched 3 adults try and dance around anal in front of a kid.
It's like they would do this or they would have after school specials. That was the
Yes.
other way
Yep.
we presented stuff. Like I learned about bulimia and anorexia from an after school special. I remember watching it after and being like, "Oh, that's what those things are." I had no idea. And these were, I mean, I think these were pretty culturally important
Yeah.
sitcoms like this and the way they handled stuff because there really was so much paranoia and so much misinformation. I mean, I was Wesley's age when this came out, you know, essentially. And we didn't really know about, I mean, our parents weren't telling us shit. Nobody watched the news. It was boring for old people. So this is how we found out about stuff.
So from a content perspective, is it people are gonna listen to us watch this episode and they will sync up, or what is?
I think so.
Yeah. I'll put the
Okay.
link in the description.
We're just watching a YouTube video. Like it's just a
Yeah.
YouTube. Yeah.
I just didn't know. I didn't know if we were including Mr. Belvedere on our channel.
No.
I don't know that we'll even release this. This is just a test. I just wanted to see how it went.
Back to our quirky bee story.
Yeah, the beast, like, oh my God.
The B story is Kevin's doing girl stuff, but it's okay. He's not gay.
That's definitely what this is. It's
Which is
100%
like-
what this is.
It's just so it's no wonder so many people like it's no wonder my generation's all fucked up.
Yeah.
God damn.
Oh, he's moving his arms.
He can when he absolutely must.
But only when he absolutely must.
Oh, he stopped again.
What is the matter? Ugh. Ugh.
No,
That's fucking heartbreaking.
that's really rough.
Ugh. It's weird to think that, like, at least this generation, but probably others, but at least my generation, we learned our morality from fake families on TV.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a useful place to learn about shit, I guess.
Yeah, I guess. I guess it is.
Kevin made that.
Kevin made it.
He looks like the Fourth Doctor.
A soupy sales reference. Awesome.
I thought about, because I watched so many episodes of Mr. Belvedere, I thought about making you guys just watch a really funny good one, but that didn't seem like as much of a Blindside as...
No.
You started
This is giving me
hot.
great ideas for other Blindsides.
Good. I want you guys to blindside the shit out of each other and me as well.
What the fuck is going on?
Can you imagine Lincoln on spring break in Tijuana?
I'm just imagining if that was the hat he wore when he got killed.
I was gonna say I can now.
Oh, yeah. So he's one of the ones that got bipped, isn't he?
Lincoln at the donkey show.
Yeah.
Oh, God. They gave that poor little kid the
No,
worst
Danny.
glasses and haircut on earth.
Oh, I think that's just probably what he looked like.
Looks like a little Rick Moranis.
Yeah, he does. Come on, Wesley. I gotta look out for number one over here.
Jesus, this is
The concept
really
of like
sad.
him growing up and then reflecting on like these
Oh
statements.
yeah. Yeah! That's
Oh
awesome.
my God.
Dude, that's a movie. Don't blindside us with Porky's, please. We can't.
No,
show
we
that.
can't. No,
the hell's
no.
Porky's?
Oh, dude, it's no. It is a movie that wasn't aging well when it was coming out. I saw it when I was 7, maybe. Like about 15 years too young.
I would love to. I can't imagine this happening in England, where everyone gets up and dresses up as old prime ministers.
They don't do this in England?
We don't really glorify our politicians like this.
No.
Dude, I would say that every American, including the other two Americans on this podcast, have had to wear a pilgrim uniform or a President Lincoln uniform at least twice in their childhood.
Oh, there he is.
Please be John Wilkes Booth.
He fucking lost the plot.
When did Score go out of fashion?
That's a great question.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
See, he learned, and now he's teaching us.
I'd like to think so. I've seen this episode a bunch. This is great because Danny is in every way a kid. He's like, I don't fucking learn that.
You see the boom, Mike?
Another boom.
What Danny is wearing there is a members only jacket. That is what every kid in America wore in 1986. Look at that big ass peanut. Wesley looks like a croupier or a flamingo dancer.
They both look like tiny adults. Not like they don't have like the proportions of children or something. Like they both like they look strange.
Yeah.
Maybe it's like the way the clothes fit.
Yeah.
Well, they say the camera adds 10 years. I'm so glad we don't have haircuts like that anymore.
Oh, thank God.
Right.
Should we all do it?
No.
For summer of 98. Maybe if we do a summer of 89 someday, we'll do bowl haircuts.
What the?
Yeah, they're going to Gettysburg.
Oh.
Of course, Wesley'd be the South.
So Danny wasn't a regular before, but now clearly this episode about acceptance and having him around. He'll be in later episodes, right? We'll see Danny again, won't we?
That's a great question, Andrew.
We'll have to tune into another episode of Blindside to find out again. It's okay, Danny. This is how I learned about British people.
Oh, here it is.
If Mr. Belvedere was on Toad in the Hole, Gavin, how long would he last?
Oh, I think he'd last multiple episodes.
Really? Wow. Is this how every episode ended?
I wonder if the people in England knew about Mr. Belvedere when it was running in America.
Good question.
Is this like Jerry's final thought?
Yeah.
It was
Yeah,
him sort of
it's-
wrapping it up.
He writes in his diary at the end of every episode.
Did he eventually get a laptop?
No. Mr. Belvedere's not a laptop kind of guy.
Too much movement.
What the hell?
Wow.
I hope you all learned something from this episode.
Do you think that Noam
Maybe
Pitlick was
you'll-
really excited to direct that, and then he got the script? He's like, I booked a Mr. Belvedere because this is big, right? This is a big
Yeah,
sitcom?
it was a big show
Oh man.
Yep.
for sure. There you go. That was Mr. Belvedere, a very special episode of Mr. Belvedere.
Yep.
Usually a lot more irreverent. This one was a little serious, but I think it's important because I wanted to teach you guys a little bit about compassion and understanding.
It was
You
a
wanted to
definite
teach
blind side.
us about
Yeah.
compassion and understanding?
Yeah, I feel like you could use a little helping of compassion and understanding.
Wow, thanks, man.
No problem.
Whoa,
That-
I don't remember that. So that was Face Blindside.
I know.
Any just
Well,
sort
it
of
worked.
like let's break this down.
Yeah.
Let's debrief a little
Yeah.
bit.
So
Initial thoughts.
I'm incredibly blindsided. I think
I'm
the
blindsided.
audience should be equally blindsided. I don't think there should be any reference to this existing, and
Okay.
I think it should just come out as is.
Yeah.
What do
It's
you
just-
what do we call it?
Well, you have to call it
I think
Face episode 157, so the audience is also blindsided.
So we are calling it it comes out in place of an episode?
I
No,
don't.
Oh, and then
yeah.
after this, episode 157 actual should come out.
Well, this is 158, but yeah.
Oh, that's right.
Could there be like episode 157 with like an asterisk next to it, maybe, or whatever? 158, like a little indication.
So you're saying put out 158. But put
What
this
is
out
gonna-
first?
This
What-
is
what
going to
if-
release on a Friday, right? So it won't
Put-
release on a normal day. I
Okay.
assume it's a
Put this
Friday.
out as 158. It'll
Okay.
be Blindside for a day.
Mhm.
Or it'll be that for a day, and then change the name to Blindside episode 1.
Okay.
I think we might be fucking ourselves over if we. What if we just put it out with no title?
What do you mean?
What do you mean?
No, I have to write something. I have to write. There has to be a description and a title. There has to be something.
What if the title is just watch?
What?
And it's audio.
These
There's no
are the-
visual component to it.
What if the title is just title?
These are the kind of ideas that Jeff would bust into my bedroom with back in the day, and I loved it. They're
Okay.
always great.
So, what if I'm going to propose this when we put this out? I'm not sure the date. We'll have to look at when we can get this edited and turned around and everything.
Sure.
But What if this comes out? We're not putting it out like when an episode comes out. We'll do it on like the Friday, Saturday cadence like we usually do. And we'll put it out and the title will just be watch and the description will just be a YouTube link to the Mr. Belvedere episode. And that's it.
That's great.
And we need to make it clear to the audience that up until half an hour ago, we thought we were about to record episode 158.
Is that what we're doing then?
I don't know. Or maybe instead of watch, maybe it's like
Listen?
What about question mark?
yeah, can you put a question mark?
I can try.
Maybe just why?
If you
Could it just be why?
can't, just put a question mark. Can you write the word question mark?
question
out?
mark? Yeah. Okay.
Oh.
Okay.
It could be Blindside in a different language.
I'm not putting Blindside in a different language.
But
This is
Blindside
one
in
of those-
Chinese.
This is one of those ideas, like Gavin's saying, that I would bust into his room. I'd say about 60% of those ideas never got made. I was really on the fence about this one, and I've had a lot of time to second guess it since I had the initial idea, because it's about 2.5 weeks old now at this point.
Right.
Is this good enough to release? Is this a good enough idea? Because if you told me no, I would completely understand.
I think it's so weird it has to. I think that this opens up opportunities for other things.
I
that
agree.
are also.
I agree. I actually had, I'm not going to do it, but I had a double Blindside that I initially planned.
You can't double Blindside.
Yeah, I don't think you can double Blindside.
I was gonna blindside Eric after the episode with a second episode of a different thing that Eric wouldn't be aware of, so that he was blindsided. But I just figured I was like pushing my luck.
Yeah, I agree with you.
So we can blindside anyone at any time, or just while we're filming?
I think it's got to be when we have recordings set.
Yeah, I think so. I think you just got to
Interesting.
clear with Eric or whatever to make sure we've got the space to do it in.
Yeah.
Like but I don't want it to be a thing where like every time we have to record 2 episodes, everybody goes in expecting somebody's going to blindside somebody. Although maybe that ushers in a new era of a different kind of paranoia, which could be interesting.
We're
in itself.
definitely getting back into our paranoia
Yeah.
era.
No, I'm definitely. I got some ideas for how to make this Blindside work. I got some thoughts.
I definitely have the next blindside I want to do, and I'm fucking jazzed to get to it.
Do they all have to be AIDS themed?
No.
No, they don't
Okay.
have to. They could be. They could be if you wanted,
Yeah.
but they don't have to be. The
Okay.
next one that I'm going to do isn't necessarily AIDS focused.
Isn't necessarily, but it might be.
I mean, it could encompass a lot of things.
Okay.
But more than anything, I just want your creative wheels turning, because I'm excited to think about what Andrew would blindside me with.
But the problem, so now this is how my brain works. Now I'm not expecting it to be ridiculous in any way or like serious in any way, because you kind of teased it might be serious. So that would no longer be a blindside. If you hit me with another, like if there was a cancer episode of some other show, that wouldn't be a blindside because I kind of anticipate it.
Right. You will not anticipate the next thing I would show.
Okay. Interesting.
I can't imagine in
I got some good ideas for a blindside. I gotta figure this out.
We don't
This
have to
is a
overdo
great
it. We
idea.
might not do another blindside for 6 months, but it's just it's out
no,
there
absolutely.
now.
I'm just saying, the wheels are turning. I'm thinking about.
I wanted to blindside the audience and y'all at the same time, and I had a lot of different choices for what I could have gone with that might have been a little funnier and a little more like, tuxedo, Condor Man,
Sure.
MVP 2 vibes. But I thought going hyper serious in a comedic space would be a little more difficult to navigate.
It was
Yeah.
more impactful.
Yeah.
So definitely more impactful.
I guess if you would have asked me when I started the day, what are things I would do during this day, Mr. Belvedere would never be on the list.
I agree.
Man, what a fucking cool character Mr. Belvedere was.
Is he?
Just like, yeah, man. He's just like an awesome, like, like a grandfatherly fucking dude presence in their lives that helps them all keep the train on the tracks, and like, because apparently their dad's useless.
Yeah, when he interrupted and totally emasculated the dad in front of the kid, that was great.
Yeah, you gotta love that.
I think you'll find what your dad means.
Mr. Belvedere, he's got a little bit of that British sass in him, you know.
Well, he rolls his R's.
Is that Dale, let me ask you a question. Is he really British?
Oh,
Like, do you buy him as British?
I buy him as like a really posh Brit.
Okay.
I don't think people talk like that necessarily anymore, but I'd buy him as British. Is he British?
His name is Christopher George Hewitt, and he's he's dead, but he was an English actor and theater director. Best known for his role as Lynn Aloysius Belvedere in the ABC sitcom Mr. Belvedere.
Aloysius.
Yeah, he was born in Sussex, Worthing, Sussex.
Okay.
And it has a wife.
What did he die of?
You will not believe it.
A devout Catholic and lifelong bachelor, Hewitt served at St. Victor's Church in West Hollywood. During his later years, he suffered from arthritis and diabetes. He died from complications of diabetes.
The arthritis does check out because it did feel like every time he moved, it aged him 17 years.
Yeah.
He did not like movement.
I'm on his IMDb page right now because I wanted to see what was up. 1921 and 2001, rest in peace. It's a picture of him as Mr. Belvedere, and there's a video that auto-played right next to it, and it's a trailer for a movie called Rat Boy, where it's just a very rat-looking boy. Like, he looks like a big rat.
And he's in it, and he plays like a coach or something, right?
It's not what I thought was going to play when I came to his IMDb page and he's dead. I didn't think the trailer for Rat...
Is that the movie that you're bringing to the table, Eric? Are we going to watch Rat Boy?
No, I don't want to look at this movie.
Oh.
This is...
I'm
watching the trailer and I don't want to see it anymore.
It was directed by Sandra Locke, who I have recently read a ton about. That's wild. She was like a longtime girlfriend of Clint Eastwood, but they never got married. He like cheated on his wife with her, and then they were together for like 10 years, and he bought her a house, and he put her in a bunch of his movies. Like, I just watched the movie Any Which Way You Can, or Every Which Way, but one of those two, Every Which Way But Loose, where he's got the orangutan Clyde that punches people, Clint Eastwood, and she was in that. That's where they fell in love. And then he ended up cheating on her with another woman and started a family with her, and then threw her out of the house and left her with nothing, and she had to sue him, and there was this like crazy lawsuit, and she ended up backing off the lawsuit because he helped her get a directing deal in Hollywood, like a 3-picture deal, which is all she wanted to do is direct. And then she had a deal for like 3 years, and then they wouldn't greenlight any of her movies, and then she died of cancer.
Oh my God.
Wow.
It was like she got like the whole back half of her life got completely fucked over by Clint Eastwood, pretty much.
I will say, Belvedere didn't have a lot of screen time for being the titular character.
Well, this was a very special episode.
He also wasn't in a lot of things. I'm surprised. He's only in 25 credits for IMDb. And out of those 25 credits, he's in The Elephant Man and Rat Boy. So he had a thing. He really liked a specific genre.
He was in a lot of TV. Like, he was in Fantasy Island. He was in the Mike Hammer Show. He was in Murder, She Wrote. He was in Where in the World is Carmen Sandiego?
Nice.
Oh, wow.
He was in California Dreams. He was in
Hell yeah.
the Jackie Gleason Show. And he almost always played a butler, I feel like.
That's what we do.
He was in an ABC after school special where he played the butler in an episode called 7 Wishes of a Rich Kid, whatever the fuck that is. Yeah. Interesting career.
So we'll have to discuss Blindside and how exactly we want to do it. I think we have it figured out mostly. This is definitely something. I'm kind of speechless as to what we
I feel the
watched.
same.
Yeah.
I was going for a little bit of shock and a little bit of awe.
There's a lot of that. This is great. This is a very successful Blindside, Jeff. I'd say you nailed it on your first
I
one.
was also going for a little bit more of a helping of comedy on top of those two things. I don't know if we delivered, but I hope we did in some capacity.
It's a big ask.
I know.
To drop a kid's AIDS diagnosis and is like, you know what? I think we'll pepper in some good. I feel they failed as well.
Without being disrespectful to the disease or to the people that suffer from it, or right? No, it's definitely a difficult task to undertake.
They just get to it in like the first 4 minutes.
I think it's part of why I wanted to show it to you guys. It's just it's presented so ludicrously and in such a shocking way.
Yeah.
That kid walks in and he's like, pretty good, I got AIDS. Anyway, and you're just like, what?
I bet a lot of people watching at home just spit all over their dinner.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think there were more or less than 100,000 spit takes
Oh, way
across
more.
the country?
Way more.
Because this is
Easily.
back. This is back when shows got numbers. You know, this is back when a
Yeah.
sitcom like that would pull in like 15, 20 million people.
Yeah.
Back when there was much less to watch.
If I send you a link, could you share your screen for a minute, Eric? This reminded me of something I saw.
Yeah.
recently.
Do you want to just send it in the chat here?
Yeah, I'll just post in the chat, and then we can watch it through you, so we're synced.
Great.
This is something that came up. I think it's another great display of like the strange specificity of like TV of that time.
Yes. This is definitely what I was talking about when it's this kind of thing. Hang on, let me get this screen shared here. This is definitely like the example that I would use for this. Okay, and here it comes, and here we go, and here it goes, and hang on now. Here we go. Okay, 3, 2, 1.
That's a great
He's
That's a
up
great
there.
documentary.
I haven't seen that documentary, but just I love that the teasing of like these serious themes.
It's really something. It's really like
Just mixed in.
it's great. It's
You
great.
you never knew what you were getting when you tuned into your sitcom. Like you're like, I'm gonna turn on Tim the Toolman Taylor. What's he gonna? Is he gonna supercharge his lawnmower with a jet engine this week? No, his kid's dying. Oh Lord. Oh, I thought it was gonna be related to the dishwasher, but no.
Man, they didn't let that breathe at all.
No.
It's in like the TV trope thing of like very
Absolutely.
special episode is like such a thing.
I pulled up the IMDb for the actor that played Danny. He's in like 20-ish things. A lot of them are sitcoms, one episode roles. Do you think that's the worst thing that happened to him as a character he played? Or do you think he played a string of characters that all died in horrific ways as like educational tools?
That's a great question.
I think I'm going to try to watch every episode that actor worked for sitcoms.
Andrew's blindsides are just gonna be that actor in stuff.
Yes.
I mean, that would be totally Regulation Blindside.
Oh man.
Completely
That was
allowable.
great. Thank you
Yep.
so much, Jeff, for I'm sorry I accidentally delayed this.
No problem, guys. It's better that you did because it drug out longer. Let me just say, I'm glad that it went about as well as I could have hoped. It didn't go as bad as I feared. I'll say that. And I'm happy to have birthed into our universe a show with which you can now use to fuck me over.
Oh, it's great. And I can't wait to see
blindside
the
me.
audience reaction to this.
Yeah.
Yep.
Everybody, all 5 of us are able to blindside whenever it makes sense to the schedule. You just got to go through Eric, I guess.
Yeah. So can we do 2 episodes next week?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I guess we
'Cause we do still need to do 2
actually need to.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm sending the invite. Thank you. Just making sure.
Eric, did you change today's calendar invite to Blindside?
Just now. Yeah.
Do you think it's going to be like, Gavin, this will only apply to you and I, but do you think it's going to be like in when Achievement Hunter would play GTA and you would call up Lamar to send somebody to mug you and Lamar would be like, can't do it, homie. Somebody else is already on the way to mug him. You think we're going to have just be stacking up blindsides? You're just never going to be able to find a window.
Oh, shit.
All right. We should wrap up this blind side and really something. Really. Jeff, anything you want to say as the starter of the blind side?
Thanks for listening to the inaugural episode of The Blind Side. We hope to see more. And guess what? You just got fucking blindsided.